Shalom. Call Halal Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Cha Kodash. Shun Yakabad Kadawala Requab Zaquanim Nawa Washalayakim Nawa. That's double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom Wabarakim Labakayim Shalayasharala. That's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. And also may a double portion of the Holy Spirit be put upon all the brothers that are out there on the highways and byways, offering your bodies as a living sacrifice out there on the front lines. So, meanwhile, while the coronavirus is getting all this attention, as it should, it's nothing more than biblical prophecy. And we definitely should be excited about it and about these future times to come. But meanwhile, in the background, what is not getting attention is this article that we're going to get into. I believe somewhere in this article it says that Fox reported on this, but I haven't heard it being reported about from any other major news network. So I wanted to bring it out to you, Akim, and let you know about what's going on, because we're living in the times of every single end time prophecy being fulfilled at the same exact time. That's why we know that when we say we're living in the quote unquote end days, then we can say that with full-fledged faith, because we're seeing the microchip, the mark of the beast, being pushed on a global scale. We're seeing, or we're hearing and reading about wars and rumors of wars. We're seeing the plagues and pestilence affect many different nations and their economies on a global scale. We're seeing diverse earthquakes. And so with that being said, I wanted to speak about how not only the plagues is what the Lord is bringing to the world, but we can even see World War III is still brewing in the background. So this says U.S. conducts airstrikes against multiple Iranian-backed militia sites in Iraq. So it goes to say the U.S. carried out airstrikes on Thursday against multiple Iranian-backed militia sites in Iraq, according to the U.S. Defense Department. The strikes come one day after the U.S. assessed an Iranian-backed group was responsible for a rocket attack on a base where coalition forces are located, killing 2 American service members and 1 British service member. And today being Friday, I believe that happened Wednesday. So I think that happened either Tuesday or Wednesday. So an Iranian-backed group struck a U.S. military base, and it killed 2 American service members and a British service member. And in retaliation, then the U.S. yesterday, so not even a day later, we'll say a day later, the U.S. carried out airstrikes against an Iranian-backed militia site in Iraq, right, in retaliation. So it goes on to say, the Defense Department on Friday identified the two U.S. service members killed in the attack. Blah, blah, blah. It goes on to give you their names. The UK government expressed support for the U.S. airstrikes. Of course they did. With the UK's Defense Secretary Ben Wallace saying, "We support the right of the United States to defend themselves as they have done tonight." Now, who knows if this is all just being set up, and maybe that militia-backed group is really, truly backed up by the U.S. and they're just doing their best to stir up some kind of wars, to stir up strife, and then now they make it seem like they're, retaliating. Or maybe it really was. Maybe that Iranian-backed militia group did really attack the air base, and it wasn't set up by the U.S., and the U.S. is really responding. Either way it goes, it's all biblical prophecy, because World War III is talked about in the scriptures, and that is what's going to officially bring the end of Babylon the Great. So I'm going to bring this out first before I read Joel. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 14. It says, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly." And we that are learned understand that this woe right here represents the third world war, because a woe basically represents death or great destruction, right? Or something terrible, an evil time. And what is the third woe or big death or great destruction or evil time that's coming to America, or really the entire world? It's going to be this third world war that's coming. And you see, this is in the book of Revelation. So this is something that needs to be revealed. And this is what we prophesy about. No, now I'm going to jump over to the book of, if I can type, Joel, the 3rd chapter. Joel chapter 3. I'll start reading at verse not 8, verse 9. Joel 3 and 9 says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." And we can see that happening right now. A lot of these nations, specifically, we can pinpoint North Korea. They're saying, you know what? We need to take money from agriculture and other resources as such and put it into our military. We need to start weaponizing our country in order to get greater defense mechanisms, stronger missiles that go farther and faster, and then just supply more weapons in general for recruiting purposes and getting a bigger military. So now the weak, well, they used to be weak like North Korea and others. Now they're strong and they're stepping up. So they're preparing themselves for war. And this is nothing, once again, but biblical prophecy. Even Iran and Iraq, they would never shoot a military base like that. They would never shoot a military base, but then they did. And now all of a sudden, what? It shows that they're not scared of Babylon the Great anymore. So that's the weak showing an example. That's the weak saying that I'm strong now. They're confident now. And it's biblical prophecy. It says, verse 11, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat," or Yahweh-Shaphat, as we know in the ancient Hebrew. "For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about." And we know that Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh-Shaphat, takes place over in the Middle East. And that's exactly where this Third World War, that's going to be the nucleus, I should say, of the Third World War. It's going to be over there right in the Middle East. And you're going to see a big draft and everything come through. As it states in the book of 2nd Esdras, I believe that's either the 15th or the 16th chapter for a fact. It talks about how there's going to be a huge draft coming. And a lot of people, let me find that real quick, actually. I think I know what to type in. If I just type in widow, then it may pop up, because I do want to read it. But a lot of people are going to be left cut and dry. Oh, it's skipping right over it. Or maybe is it at the end? Let me see. Yeah, it is. Okay. 2nd Esdras, which says widowhood that marry not as widows. Nope, it's not there. Let me see if I can. Not as a widower. Man, this may take a while, but I'm going to type in virgin. And I'm going to go all the way down. Salaki, just bear with me. I do want to read this. Boom, 2nd Esdras, chapter 16. There it is. And 33. Let me see where I should start, though. I'm going to start reading at verse 31. It says, "Even so, in those days, there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword." And that's coming very, very, very soon. When there's an economic collapse and when there's a huge famine, and when you have people out here that have to fend for their family, they're going to be invading one another, as it speaks about in the 15th chapter, with swords, which is what? The modern day gun, or basically just representing a weapon in general. "And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through." And is part of this not already taken place? I mean, we're only seeing the beginning of this, but we're seeing travel bans now to and from the EU. We're seeing NBA games and March Madness now being cut off. We're seeing certain cities already quarantined. So we're in the beginning of this scripture right now. Verse 33 says, so now we know this is coming. Verse 33, the virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The woman shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Why? Because verse 34 says, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. That's how we know a huge draft is coming. In the wars shall their grooms be destroyed. And you're going to have women get drafted too. It's not just going to be men. But why is it stated as such? Because women are going to be helpless. You see, men, to a certain point, can defend themselves. But in these times to come, the scriptures talk about how even mighty men are going to be holding their stomachs on their knees, frightened, are going to be dropping dead because of heart attacks, are going to be scared like little girls. That's the time that we're coming into. So in all actuality, how much more a female who's all out there on her own, doesn't know where her next meal is going to come from, can't protect herself from a pack of 6 niggas walking up. I'm going to read that again. The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegroom. The woman shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Hear now these things, and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Okay? But all this is happening because of biblical prophecy, and there will be that third world war very, very, very soon. And even America's allies, as it states in the book of Revelation, will turn against America very soon. But I wanted to bring out this article really quickly. It's a really long read. As you can see, it goes on and on. But I really just read the point, Nowadays, I'm trying to just read maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs and stick to the scriptures, because these articles can last, forever, as we can see. And in these times, you want to just bring out the main point, which is prophecy, read some scriptures, and boom, that's it. So I pray that the elect were edified. Just wanted to show you all that it's not just the virus that the Lord is, has going on right now. He's really moving these chess pieces in a way where, well, guess what? We're going to win. We're going to win, and we need to be joyful because biblical prophecy is coming to pass. So World War III is still brewing behind the scenes of this coronavirus. So call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai for that. Ba'ashem Chakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.